Hi, I'm Jelle.
Hi, I'm Joey.
Yeah, Joey.
Yeah,
So it has come to my attention that you're not a developer at all.
that's correct. I'm not.
You're a tester.
I'm a tester, yeah.
What's the difference? What's a tester?
What is a tester? Um, Basically, it's the guy that says you're not doing your job correctly. Nah, but that's not the case. But the testers are the ones that validate and verify if the software you build is according to the wishes of the client.
Okay, so I would have expected you to say it's working correctly, but you're saying it's working according to the wishes of the client. Why that differentiation?
That's basically, I derived that from Scrum Agile. We need value, and
Yep.
the only one that can say if something has value is our customer/client.
So
So if he wants a page to be read, and we don't think it's the good way to go, but it's read, then it's supposed to be read.
So I, as a developer, could say, well, UX-wise, or I don't know, in the name of good taste, red might be a bad color because of X, Y, Z, or maybe in a different case, you could say, well, red, that's actually a really expensive color because we need to do B and C, and it's very, very hard for us. Can't we just make it pink? But you would say, okay, no, I think there is something to the user requirements.
Yeah, there's a collaboration in the team, of course. And if we say because we have the knowledge, you don't do red because that signifies warnings.
Right,
And
yeah.
and we can tell the client, so it's better to do it pink. Then and we can persuade him to do pink, and he says, okay, that has value for me too. Then it's going to be pink. So it's basically we're working together.
I don't know why I said pink, but you're basically saying that you're starting with the requirements. That's where you started. So
Yeah.
take me on the entire journey, because if you start at the requirements, there's a lot more work to do before we have software that's working.
Yeah, exactly. So before we start, and we take Scrum Agile as our prime example right now, a customer wants something. So let's say he wants a login page.
Yeah.
That could be a requirement. So he says, I want to have login page. It has to have a username. It has to have a password. If either of those are wrong, I want to see an error. So that's a requirement. What we do as a team, that's devs and tests together, but we both have our different views of looking at it. We add to this requirement, so we come up with specifications, acceptance criteria.
Yeah.
So, and in the collaboration with the client, we formulate these acceptance criteria together. So, okay, so if I enter nothing, is that correct? And then the client would say, no, I need to see an error. Okay, we add that to the acceptance criteria. So, so I usually talk from the requirements themselves, yeah.
Yeah, and then let's say that we've got perfect requirements.
Right?
I would love to live in this world that I've created.
Yeah.
And I'm writing this code according to the requirements. I'm very proud of myself. I'll do it test-driven. I write my own unit tests, and they fail. I'll write my code to match. Unit tests succeed, and I say, I'm done. My good buddy looks at my code and says, oh, mwah, perfect code.
Right.
Let's go through, because I'm really good at programming.
Yep.
And it arrives usually, like the waterfall within the sprint, it
Yep.
arrives on your desk.
Yeah.
Or if in a team where there's multiple testers or everyone has some testing capacity, it arrives on in the testing column. Let's say it like that.
Yep.
What then?
What happens then is we have those acceptance criteria. So basically, what delivers value? What is the value in this use case? And we create test cases as a tester
Yep.
to validate and verify if actually value is delivered.
When do you create those test cases?
We can create them as soon as the requirement is ready, the user story is written down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically the base, like for behavior-driven testing. You can create them right when we're writing the requirement.
Okay, so basically, while I'm writing the code, you're already
Writing the test.
possibly writing down test cases.
Yeah, exactly. And then the thing is, I'm only looking at what we've written down, the acceptance criteria. But the best thing is, like I said, the customer does the value. So it's the best way is basically to pull them in. We're testing this. We have an agreement when the acceptance criteria are met.
Yeah.
We create value, but it's always good to have.
So you're again looking for verification for your verification suggestion, and you're looking towards collaboration
Exactly.
with
Yeah.
the end user
Yeah.
again. Okay. And then you have test cases. You'll need to execute them, I'm sure.
Sure. Yeah. So we write them down, depending on the matter, basically.
Yeah.
you decide on how you write them down. So if it's a web page, for example, you can write them down in scenarios. But if it's a calculation, it might be wise to write them down in different steps and use a test technique to come through your test cases. So that's basically how we derive requirements to test cases.
Yep.
So we have written them down, we start testing them, and at this point, we're looking at it, and then we checking them off. There's two ways of doing this. We can do this manually, by just clicking on it, going through it, or we can do this automatically by using a tool.
Right, so, I mean, I'm a developer. My entire goal is to automate everything.
Yeah, that's my wish too.
Why would you ever do something manually? That's like effort. Why not test automatically all the time?
It's the same question you can ask like when they're building a car. So why are you not taking that thing on the road already? Because it's not ready yet. Because it only has 4 wheels at the moment. So the question is, do we want to automate it right away? You have to look at your return of investment. Is this the right moment to do it? Eventually, the goal is to have everything automated so you can focus on the things, finding those issues in there that people are hard to find.
Yeah.
Not the ones that are really easy to find. You automate those cases, so the regression test basically. So when we rerun all the tests, it's done automatically.
So something you said triggered me. You said, in the end, I want to automate everything. Is that possible for tests?
Never.
Oh, that sucks. So you'll never succeed. Yeah,
no. Look at it this way. As soon as the more variables come into play, the bigger the amount of test cases become. And when you have like 3 or 4 choices already, it becomes too much to automate everything, basically. So you have to make a choice. That choice you're making is based on risk, your risk assessment you're doing. So you're looking at the test case, and then you're looking at, okay, what is the risk if this goes wrong with the application? Does this mean something for my client? Or is the screen going to turn pink? And that's the only thing. So you kind of make that assessment and then...
Yeah, and we've become enemies of the color pink. That's good.
Yeah.
So, all right, you've done your test execution. You've made your risk. You're testing something automated because you have the time to do it. And it's high risk, high reward if you do it automatically.
Yeah.
You do some manual tests because you need to verify whether it's working.
Yeah.
And hope to possibly automate that at a later time.
Yeah.
You've got your test results.
Right.
That's it? You're done?
No, not really. Then it's depending on the project you're working in. Usually in my projects, we'll say if we find something in the use case and there's open bugs, our definition of done says it's not done yet. So I present bugs, it's not working, we refix them, I retest them. And if it's done, we ship it. But in the pure sense of testing, you could say, okay, this is what you do. You deliver a report and you tell them, okay, this is the quality of the project as of now.
Yeah.
And you let the product owner decide this is something I want right now or not. Yeah, but that's pretty old school. That's not the way we do it right now anymore.
Okay. So you are joining in at the start. You're putting in hours on the requirements. You're writing test cases while the developers are working. After the developers are kind of done with something, you're doing test execution. And then you're doing collaboration again. You're discussing whether something is acceptable as it is. You're planning for the future.
Yep.
You're putting in a lot of work. And if you're also able to code, apparently, because you write automated tests. So why not just start developing, man? So let's focus on putting in more features. What's the use of a tester in my team?
That's a good question. I think testers are people with a different mindset. They're very critical. They analyze stuff differently than a dev would. I think when you start making stuff, you have this maker mindset that you're really happy something works, and you're not looking at it from a different perspective. So you need somebody with an outside view. The thing is, I think
that's what a code review is for, right?
No, well, yeah, I know. Like, it's one of the quality gates we have to check if there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not telling if it's built correctly.
A code review is still from the same mindset as the maker mindset.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think, and another one is the tester has this quality mindset, and that's where we see that testing has become more than testing alone, but it's starting to move towards quality assurance. Testers are the quality shepherds of the team, so they look at different points everywhere. So bugs are not only made when code is written; bugs are made way before that. Like Bugs can be made when communication is not good, but bugs can be made when the refinement is not good. Bugs can be made when we make the wrong assumptions about something.
Yeah.
So I think a tester itself, his horizon broadens, and he's becoming the quality shepherd of a team.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of. So you would say a tester can potentially be a very good Scrum Master in a Scrum team. A tester would not make a very good developer. Am I putting words in your mouth here?
Kinda, but I tend to a bit to agree. In my mind, no, let's put it differently. I think it's very valuable for a tester to know what code does. If you don't know what it for each does, or how looping works, or what an int is, or that kind of stuff, that's really good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have that knowledge, you can tell, well, if something is a Boolean, what happens if it's not nullable,
Yeah.
for instance. Does every developer make a good tester? No.
Okay. So I'm hearing you say it's very, very important for a tester to know what a developer does. Of course. But can we turn around? Is it very important for a developer to at least reach this base level of understanding what testing means and why it's important?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Especially when we're looking at collaboration within the team, it's really good if devs know what is there, and so we can collaborate. For instance, you make unit tests. I can, and I'm saying I want to test this, and then you tell me what those I don't know, weird dates. I already have them in unit tests, so maybe you don't have to.
I've already written the tests. You're
Exactly.
not needed anymore.
No,
That's the wrong kind of collaboration then.
no, but it's we don't want to test things double. Basically, that's
Yeah.
not needed. So if you know what you're doing and you know what I'm doing, we can collaborate better. So
Right.
that the testing on the whole is a better fitting puzzle.
Okay. So basically that collaboration that you keep coming back to,
Yeah.
would you say that's the key takeaway, that we need to move different mindsets closer together?
Yeah, I think so. Because if you see where we came from testing, it's what we said earlier. It's waterfall. So you would develop something, you would throw it over the wall. I would test it. I would throw the results back, and then we do this little limbo between us where we throw the ball every time. You see, there's a thing now where we say, okay, we want to shift testing to the left. So test it where the work's being done. In order for us to do that, we have to collaborate more.
Okay. That's I think that's a really nice introduction, not only to testing, but to being a good colleague in a software development team. Thanks so much for helping vocalize those concepts.
Yeah.
And I think we're done.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
See you.
Bye.